MAGA world is in total meltdown mode this morning after watching 130 million people tune in to Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance last night. Meanwhile, they could barely scrap together a few million people to watch Kid Rock play songs that haven't been popular in over 2 decades. It was an embarrassing moment for Donald Trump and the entire MAGA movement. Let's dive into why, starting with this statement from Donald Trump late last night. Now, this post is from Donald Trump last night on Truth Social. Quote, "The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense, is an affront to the greatness of America, and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, and excellence." And I think, as you guys know, Donald Trump is well known for success, creativity, and excellence as president. So nobody understands a word this guy is saying, and the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day. Yada, yada, yada. He starts talking about how great the economy is, blah, blah, blah. And then, by the way, and I do love this, he ends it with, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule, which he is correct about. The new kickoff rule sucks, and they should get rid of it. These cultural moments is that MAGA world and Donald Trump wishes that they were even fractionally as culturally relevant as Bad Bunny is. Bad Bunny put on an incredible performance last night, and he's one of the top streaming artists in the world. I think he's the #1 streaming artist in the world, and he's like #3 or #4 in the United States alone. And they act like this is just some random guy that Roger Goodell and the NFL pulled off the streets to piss off conservatives. But they are whiners and losers, and most importantly, these guys are soft. Because their patriotism gets threatened, their faith gets threatened by the simplest, dumbest stuff. But if you watch the performance last night, yes, you saw Bad Bunny speaking and singing in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish either, so I didn't know every single word that he was saying, but there were universal languages at play. Love, community. Hell, they had a damn wedding ceremony in the middle of the Super Bowl performance last night, and I don't understand why this is the stuff we're talking about and not that, because that's cool as hell. So TPUSA put on their own Super Bowl halftime show last night, and it was frankly a complete and total disaster. So last night, while all of the MAGA world was bitching and moaning on the internet about Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance, do you know what Donald Trump was watching at his party in Mar-a-Lago? He was watching Bad Bunny, because even Donald Trump isn't going to waste his time watching Kid Rock play songs that haven't been popular in 20 years. And congrats to whichever patriot recorded this. Now, let's just for a second, I'm just going to zoom in real quick because I think everybody should see this. I love the way this video starts because it has sad and very likely drunk Lindsey Graham just center frame right there, having the time of his life. And again, it's incredible to me the way that the MAGA movement and these conservatives complain about everything. They are so desperate to be culturally relevant. They got Kid Rock, who's the only performer they can seem to ever get for anything. And it's just embarrassing to them. And this is why they use and abuse the power of the federal government to make themselves more culturally relevant. It's why Donald Trump goes after comedians he doesn't like Jimmy Kimmel. It's why he tries to push the networks to push more programming that's pro-Trump and pro-MAGA. Yes, he wants to, flex his power around, but it's because they can't do it themselves culturally. And then they're so soft that they're offended that Spanish might be spoken at the Super Bowl halftime show. Tens of millions of Americans have Spanish as their primary language in the United States. Puerto Rico, by the way, is in the United States. We're going to talk about that in a second, because there's been so many people who have been acting like Bad Bunny is a, quote, fake American, which is really depressing, because Puerto Rico's in the United States. It deserves to be in the States. It deserves to be a state, and they can't stop disrespecting them. Keep in mind, just before Donald Trump was elected, he had one of those idiot comedians, Tony Hinchcliffe, I believe, talking about how Puerto Rico is an island of garbage. So the disrespect to our fellow Americans continues to be completely and totally disgusting. But I want to focus for a second on one thing, because it was amazing to me. Donald Trump talked about in that Truth Social post I read you that the dancing was completely inappropriate for kids. And I have 2 thoughts on this. First of all, Donald Trump is the last person, given the Epstein cover-up, that I would want to hear about how to keep kids safe. Second, I'd like to show you what the dancing looked like at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago party just recently. Now, to be clear, I'm not personally offended by any of that, But Donald Trump, again, presumes to tell people how to keep everything wholesome for our kids. And here we've got a group of women dancing in their underwear, wearing lingerie at a Mar-a-Lago party. And I'm not shaming these women, by the way. They are performers. They're putting on a performance. They're all beautiful as far as I can tell. It's just that Donald Trump is such a hypocrite. They love to cling to family values and religion and patriotism and, oh my God, won't somebody think of the children when it's convenient for them? So they want to attack Bad Bunny because Bad Bunny is a critic of ICE, having spoken out against ICE's violence and chaos and terror just a week or so ago at the Grammys. But this stuff is fine. It's fine for Donald Trump to do it. But, Bad Bunny can't have a little bit of fun. And again, I want to remind people, 130 million Americans tuned in to enjoy Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show. People liked it. It was fun. And only a few million turned into that goofy Kid Rock thing where he was wearing jorts and singing, by the way, lip syncing a song. Just really unbelievable to me. Now, the reaction from MAGA world and all these influencers and talking heads that they have has been predictably racist and stupid and disgusting. And I want to show you this one from Jake Paul because it might be the most hypocritical one of the night. Now, here's Jake Paul. And if you don't know who Jake Paul is, one, you're better off for it because he's an abject loser. But two, Jake Paul is, I guess, like a content creator is what I would call him. He's like a fake boxer. You may have seen him in what was very much a rigged match for Netflix with Mike Tyson. The whole thing was completely embarrassing. But here's Jake Paul saying, quote, purposefully turning off the halftime show. Let's rally together and show big corporations that they can't just do whatever they want without consequences, parentheses, which equals viewership for them. You are their benefit. Realize you have power. Turn off this halftime. A fake American citizen performing who publicly hates America. I cannot support that. So let's start here. Bad Bunny is not a fake American citizen. He is an American citizen, period. Puerto Rico is in the United States. It is not a state, but it is part of this country. And these idiotic attacks from the right against Puerto Rico needs to stop. And it's part of the reason that I believe very strongly that the next time Democrats are in power, we need to make Puerto Rico a state. We need to do it for Guam. We need to do it for Washington, D.C. We have to stop having so many people be disenfranchised and disrespected by people who don't understand the full scale of this country. Second, do you know where Jake Paul lives? Jake Paul's residence is in Puerto Rico, which he moved there to reduce his taxes. He's been photographed repeatedly wearing the Puerto Rican flag, talking about how great the island is. But now it's convenient for him, so he's going to throw Puerto Rico under the bus, even though it's where he calls home. Now, and my guess is it's just a tax shelter for him, but at the end of the day, he can't help but follow the bullshit talking points that come from Donald Trump in this White House. And these moments are, to me, super helpful because you get to see who's really on the payroll and who's not on the payroll. Who's got at least 1 foot in common sense and reality, and who's just a hack, like Jake Paul here, who's just going to say whatever the White House wants him to say. And one final thought about this, which is Bad Bunny does not hate America. Speaking out about what your government is doing when you disagree with it is the most patriotic thing that you can do. It's still patriotic to speak out against your country. What's that? I think it's a James Baldwin quote, is I love this country enough to criticize it. But these guys are so fragile. They're so weak. And they want you to be scared to speak up about what ICE is doing. They want you to be scared to speak up about what Trump is doing, his corruption, the Epstein files, the economy, that you feel like, oh, I can't say anything because it would be anti-American for me to speak that. Screw that. Screw that. Don't ever let them silence you or your opinion because you have the right to speak up. And Bad Bunny has that right as an American citizen. And by the way, there was nothing anti-American about Bad Bunny's performance last night, which we're going to talk about in a second. But first, I want to show you this interaction between Piers Morgan and Meghan McCain. They are two of the most MAGA-coded people who are out there. I would not say that they're full on the MAGA payroll, although Meghan McCain in particular has really veered into MAGA territory since she left The View. Piers is Piers. I've debated him a number of times on his YouTube show. But even these two, for as much water as they carry for the Trump administration on Epstein, on the economy, on ICE, on other issues, they can't justify or defend this ridiculous dueling halftime bowl performances between Kid Rock and Bad Bunny. And you can't even really call it a dueling performance because one was just like a goofy live stream and the other one was a serious, well put together, well thought out performance from a serious artist. But here's Meghan McCain, quote, "I'm sorry, but I just genuinely question your taste level if you didn't enjoy Bad Bunny's halftime show. And everything in life doesn't have to be ruined by politics." And Piers Morgan, of course, agrees, which is kind of amazing because Piers has built his entire back half of his career on bitching and moaning about culture war stuff on the internet. I should know, I've debated with him a lot on a lot of really stupid shit, including that goofy Sydney Sweeney Jeans ad, including Cynthia Erivo playing Jesus Christ Superstar. I mean, just a lot of weird stuff that he brings people on to talk about. But that's beside the point. But you have all of these MAGA influencers who are out there talking about how amazing it was to see Kid Rock in his almost 60 wearing jorts and lip syncing to a song that none of us have thought about for a very long time. But even Meghan McCain can't stomach it, just can't stomach it. And to her point, and I'm going to give her a little bit of credit here, not everything needs to be political. It just doesn't. Like, life is hard, even without all that's happening in this country right now. It's hard to raise a family, to buy a house, to have a good paying job. Like, life is very difficult and challenging, and it's more challenging now. You have the right as an American to turn off your brain and enjoy a football game and drink a beer and eat some bad food with your friends and watch the halftime show in peace without it being political. But these guys make everything political because they want us at each other's throats. They want us to be angry about stupid stuff. Oh, they're speaking Spanish at the Super Bowl halftime show. They want you mad about that, so you're not mad about Trump's corruption, so you're not mad about the Epstein class getting away with abusing kids, so you don't get mad about the fact that your paycheck isn't going as far as it used to, so you don't get mad that the beer you're drinking is 55% more expensive than it would have been a decade ago. That's what they want. And let's not give that to them. Like, every time I go debate conservatives somewhere, I tell them, I don't hate you. I disagree with you, but I don't hate you. I want to try to figure out how to work through this together to move this country forward. And I'm tired of these guys pitting us against each other. And that's what they do with this stupid performative halftime bull crap where they pretend to be mad and offended that the NFL would, I don't know, pick one of the most famous, most successful recording artists on the planet right now. It's so silly. Just take a look here. What is offensive about Bad Bunny's performance? They're saying it was horrible and terrible and just poorly performed and offensive to American values. What is offensive about this? What's offensive about the quote that the only thing more powerful than hate is love, which is echoing what Bad Bunny said at the Grammys just a week prior? What's so horrible about that? What's so horrible about people dancing in the streets and celebrating community? Why is the MAGA movement so afraid of a culture that might look a little bit different than what they're used to, in a language they don't understand, with a type of music they don't like? Why are they so scared? They're soft. However much we all made fun of these MAGA influencers last night for trying to pretend like Bad Bunny's performance wasn't excellent, we didn't make fun of them enough. Because these people are soft, they're weak, they're losers. They're trying to work the refs in culture to complain about everything in the hopes that you don't notice that they don't have any ideas to improve your life. And it's disgusting. It's just really disgusting, and it's sad and depressing to me. There's nothing wrong with this. When all the people are mad about all the flags that led the way showing the Americas, but what flag led the way was the United States of America. It was a patriotic performance. It was a celebration of love. It was nice. I don't speak Spanish. I didn't understand most of the words that were said, but I understood the universal language of community, of respect, of love. It's not hard to see those things. It's just not. And I just want to leave you with this final thought, which is a video from C-SPAN where people were giving their live reactions to the Super Bowl halftime show.
I wanted to make a comment about the halftime show. The people who are complaining about it being in Spanish, the album that was a top winning award was all in Spanish. You wouldn't ask an opera singer, an Italian opera singer, to convert her song into English. That's ridiculous. In the 50s, blacks would go overseas, blues singers, jazz singers. They sang in Paris and France. They sang in English. This whole thing about the Spanish is just a made-up controversy, and it's unfortunate. The most important thing he said at the end was in English: God bless America. We have to stop being so discriminatory toward anything that's not like us all the time. It was a great performance. It was all love. You did not need to be able to speak English to understand it. Thank you.
I could not have said that better myself. Not everything has to be political, and some things translate far beyond language. If you enjoyed Bad Bunny's halftime performance like I did, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, like and share with your friends. Leave a comment. Tell me how you were feeling about the Super Bowl last night. Tell me how you're feeling about Sam Darnold being a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I don't know. I'm still processing that as a Vikings fan. And then make sure you subscribe to the channel and you hit the little bell so you get the next video. Thank you. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If the content was helpful to you, do me a favor and hit like on the video so more people get a chance to see it. Leave a comment and tell me your reaction. Subscribe to the channel for more. And if you want to watch another video, here's one right here.